She hated flying, but loved destinations enough to tolerate it. The airport felt like a different world, too bright, too loud, full of people who were all going somewhere important. She moved through security on autopilot, headphones in, coffee in hand, reminding herself it was only a few hours in the air. Her seat was by the window. She always chose it. It made her feel like she still had control over something. When she sat down, she noticed the seat beside her was empty. Relief washed over her. An empty seat meant space. Silence. No small talk. At the last minute, someone slid into it. He apologized quietly for bumping her arm while stowing his bag. She nodded, polite but closed off, eyes already back on the runway outside. The plane taxied, engines roared, and her fingers tightened slightly around the armrest. He noticed but didn't comment. Instead, he said, calmly, that turbulence always looked worse than it felt. His voice was steady, unassuming. Somewhere above the clouds, she relaxed. They didn't talk right away. He read. She watched a movie she barely followed. But every now and then, their elbows touched, and neither pulled away too quickly. When the seatbelt sign flicked on suddenly and the plane jolted, she inhaled sharply. He glanced over, offered a small smile, and asked if she was okay. This time, she answered. Conversation unfolded naturally after that. Not personal at first, travel stories, missed connections, places they'd loved more than expected. She admitted she was flying to reset after a difficult year. He said sometimes motion helped him think more clearly. They shared snacks. Laughed quietly. Time passed faster than it should have. When the plane began its descent, she felt an unexpected disappointment. Not because the flight was ending, but because the moment was. He asked where she was headed after landing. She told him. He smiled and said he hoped the trip gave her what she was looking for. At the gate, they stood together briefly, surrounded by movement and announcements. No dramatic pause. No pressure. He asked if she wanted to keep talking after the flight. She hesitated just long enough to be honest, with herself more than him, and said yes. Some journeys are about where you land. Others are about who ends up sitting beside you. While you're learning how to let go of control. They didn't walk out of the airport together at first. Luggage came at different speeds. Phones buzzed back to life. Reality rushed in. Still, they stayed within sight of each other, exchanging small smiles that felt surprisingly grounding in the chaos. When they finally stepped outside, the air smelled different, new city, new rhythm. She noticed how easily she was breathing. They grabbed coffee at a small place near the terminal. Nothing fancy. Paper cups, tired travelers, a hum of conversations around them. It felt right to start something simple in a place meant for transitions. They talked about plans for the week, about what they hoped this trip would give them. He admitted he didn't always know what he was looking for, just that movement helped him find it. She said she was tired of standing still. Over the next few days, messages replaced turbulence. Short notes at first, did you land okay? Found a place you'd like? Then longer ones. Photos of streets. A view from her window. A late-night voice note when time zones overlapped just enough. There was no rush to define anything. Distance made patience feel natural. Midweek, they met again. Same airport, different energy. This time, she didn't grip the armrest. This time, she laughed during takeoff. He noticed. She noticed that he noticed. They talked about how strange it was to meet between places, how airports made honesty easier because everyone was already in motion. When they landed, they didn't say goodbye. They said see you. Not as a promise carved in stone, but as a choice they were both comfortable making. They walked out together, not hand in hand yet, but close enough to know it would happen when the time was right. Some connections begin at cruising altitude and grow on the ground. They don't need certainty to move forward. Just the courage to keep choosing the next seat beside each other. Window or not.